PowerA has surprise dropped a brand new premium Xbox controller. I've spent a few weeks using the MOGA XP Ultra and have come away impressed with its hybrid Xbox and mobile design focus. At $130 US MSRP though, it's a big ask for customers. It's the same base price as an Elite Series 2 core controller. So let's break down all the specs and go over my experience using it with various Xbox and mobile titles, and see if it's worth that surprising sticker price. The XP Ultra is a unique hybrid design. It is essentially a 2-in-1 concept with a central controller unit that can be attached to an outer grip shell. Both the main unit and grip have rumble motors built into them, and there's a 30-hour battery in the main unit that'll power both. Features-wise, you are looking at it connects wirelessly to both Xbox consoles and PCs, as well as Bluetooth devices. It is a 4-in-1 modular design, featuring a full-sized gamepad, dual articulating mobile gaming clip, compact mini pad for compact mobile gaming, and a detachable full-sized ergonomic grip. It comes with an included 2000 mAh built-in battery life for up to 30 hours of gameplay, which actually seemed to be true in my use case. There are built-in rumble motors in both the mini pad and the detachable grip, dual analog sticks that feel pretty darn good, a modern concave D-pad, which is alright, impulse triggers, 2 mappable advanced gaming buttons in the detachable grip, a USB-C charging port and wired connectivity port, a 3.5mm audio port, and a very long braided USB-C to USB-A cable for using the controller or charging it. The first thing that stood out to me is that this is a third-party controller that connects directly to an Xbox console without use of a dongle. It functions similarly in every major way to a first-party Xbox Series controller. Double-tapping the pairing button swaps between Xbox and Bluetooth modes, and it can be used wired as well. The included braided cable is extremely long, measuring nearly 13 feet when I laid it out. My primary use case was with the full controller put together, as I found the mini pad to lead to hand cramping after an hour or two, but I do have very large hands, and I could see average size or smaller users finding it usable at least. The pad feels good in the hands, with a shape similar to an Elite. When using the grip though, it is slightly larger, and I did find the location of the back buttons to be an issue. They're very easy to hit, sometimes too easy. In normal use on Xbox or PC, it was fine, but the added weight of using a mobile phone when the clip attachment was on added some extra weight, making me have to hold it more tightly and hit those buttons a lot by mistake. The face buttons are slightly taller than an average Xbox controller, but they felt really good to press. The triggers are slightly shorter than a Series or an Elite. It made feathering my throttle in racing games feel a little less precise, but for quick presses and shooters, it felt fantastic. The bumpers are a similar click as an Xbox Series controller, though with more play to them. They felt great in games like Elden Ring, which makes heavy use. Overall, the controller feels pretty darn good to use, if falling a little short of feeling great. It's serviceable in every major way, but the plastics used don't quite match up with the Elite Series 2, especially with its rubber grips and swappable thumbsticks and the like. An area the controller does shine though is its battery life. I used it as often as I could during this review period and only had to charge it once. I received it with roughly half a charge, which took about 15 hours to use up. After a full charge, which was surprisingly fast using the included wire plugged into my Xbox, I'm at over 20 hours and it's only now gone under half. I've used it a lot in Bluetooth mode as well, while playing Diablo Immortal on my phone. I like to love every single part of this device. It feels good to use in pretty much every scenario, with my large hands holding it back in its gripless mini mode. The major issue I have is its pricing. While this feels like a premium device, especially for PowerA, it is hard to recommend it over an Elite Series 2, especially when the core edition is the same MSRP. You lose out the ability to change out the thumbstick and D-pad, as well as the hair triggers, and just an overall better feel for the Series 2. I also ran into an issue where the device did not want to work on PC while wired in directly. It just refused to pick up the first dozen or so times I tried plugging it in with various cables, before finally starting to work out of nowhere. And access to the user guide was also unavailable, which you should be able to access using an included QR code. I was able to eventually get the back button set how I wanted, with some trial and error, but that method requires holding the middle pairing button down. And again, while using the device with a phone and its phone clip, I had to support that extra weight with my fingers on the back, and I repeatedly had the phone go into its back button setting mode by mistake. Wrapping things up, this is probably the best overall mobile game controller I have used outside of those few issues. It feels pretty darn great and is comfortable over long play sessions. The fact that it doubles as a fully functional, almost elite Xbox controller nearly justifies its price. If you travel often, there are few options as enticing as this one for on-the-go gaming. $130 is a lot to ask at launch, but this one is worth checking out if you can find it at a good price.